So hey guys, I'm Kenny James. Welcome to my studio, my office, and I'm going to do a production deconstruction on a song I wrote called These Things. And before I get started, I just wanted to thank you for all the kind words and the comments and the messages and all the views on Facebook. It was really appreciated. So before I get into the whole technical thing of breaking this down, why don't we watch the first 20 seconds or so of the video.
I found the page with the corner folded down, whispering words I could never say out loud. Give me time to grow. I love these things, but I love you more.
Okay, so as you can see, I took my guitar and a Shure SM7, my laptop, and I went to one of my favorite places near Thumb Butte and just played and sang my song, recorded it. So let's get into what I did with the recording. So I've got 2 sessions of Reaper open here, so let's go to the audio side and get rid of the video. So I do my audio and video editing both in Reaper. So let's pull this down. So as you can see, I've got 4 tracks here, really just 3. This plate verb bus is just something that I use for a little stereo widening, although I don't think too many people listen to stuff in stereo anymore. I think most people just listen to things on their phone, but still people use their earbuds and home systems and stuff. But anyways, that aside, I've got guitar, mic, guitar wire, so let me explain what I've got going on here. I have a Prefix Fishman blend preamp on my guitar, and that has a mic and a wire. So I customed mine out by putting a stereo plug in. One side is the mic, one side is the wire. So let's listen to the mic side just for a quick second here. Solo that. So what I got going on here at the beginning, you can see I brought this item, I brought the volume down. The button on my jacket was hitting the soundboard. You may or may not be able to hear that. It's kind of squeaky and it just annoyed me when I was mixing, so I just brought that, I split the item and brought that down, got that out of the way. Can't really hear that on the wire side. So anyways, I'm gonna go through my effects chain on the guitar here real quick. I use a Sominus Burnley 73. This is a Neve plugin. I've used most of the Neve plugins. I really like this one. It really reminds me of the console. Just great. However they came up with this, I just really like it. I like the look of the GUI, and it's just a great plugin. Of course, we go this way. We get a little bit of the Neve grit and warmth. We go this way and we still get that push, but it's just not the same. This gives us kind of that Neve saturation. Just like on the console, the top is right around 11, 12, and I just got a little shimmer there, just a little push, and then a little 4K on that mic, just a push, and then the high pass is at 160. The mic side of the preamp is a little rumbly. For live, it's great. It gives me that nice big full sounding acoustic guitar, but recording, it's kind of a pain. It gets in the way, so that's why the high pass is set there. There's lots of reverbs out there, and I've got most of them. I've gone back to using the Reaper stock plugins. I really like them, and also, even though I do have this plate verb bus, I use this kind of a stereo widening thing. Just have, I mean, you can barely hear it. I'll let you listen. So that's out. That's in. So just a little tiny bit of reverb. It just kind of rounds out the sound just a little bit. And I like the reverb, the mono reverb, to kind of stay where the guitar is in the mix. Stereo bus reverbs are great. Sometimes they can get really splashy and annoying, so Yeah, I'm kind of for vocals and guitars, if I'm going to use any reverb at all, I'm really not a huge fan of reverb, but if I'm going to use any, it's a very, very small amount, and just I like it to sit with the guitar wherever I have it panned. So the EQ here, I've got a high pass. Again, that mic side, it just has like a lot of low rumble, which again is good for live. It gives me that big, warm acoustic sound, but for recording, you know, really the best way for me to record an acoustic guitar is just throw a U87 in front of it or a C12 or something and just be done with it. Using a pickup is always a little tricky, and there's kind of some top annoying high end that so I've got a low pass filter going there. This next guy, this Sound Toys CQ, I love this thing. I use it all the time. If you need something to just poke through the mix and you want that mid-range, this is the ticket, boy. It's nice because it gets things right through the mix, but no harshness. So I've got a little 3.5 here and maybe 3 dB, and again, getting rid of some of that rumble that the mic picks up on my guitar. Just a little low-end roll-off there. Going back to my days of being kind of, you know, in conventional studios, I fell in love with the LA2As. I used to use them on everything: kick drums, snare drums, overheads, vocals. Just the LA2A to me was just kind of the go-to. And the 1176, but the LA2A just, I don't know, it just has like a shimmer, it has a sound, and Waves just did just a great job with this. I don't really use it much, as you can see. Not really compressing too much, just kind of taking out some of the peaks. Mostly just using this to get that LA2A sound, that kind of shimmer or saturation thing, that the LA2A. You know, these plugins, I'm not sure that I could hear the difference between, I mean, I know people say that all the time. I talk to engineers and some producers I know that can tell the difference. I think if you blind tested people, I think you'd have a hard time telling the difference between a $29 plugin or whatever this costs these days and the real thing. I think it'd be tough. The wire side of my acoustic, basically, I've got the same basic setup. The Neve, just a tiny little bit of reverb. EQ, high pass, low pass. The CQ, this one, on the wire side, I don't really get as much low end. The wire's under the bridge of the guitar, so just a little, maybe 4 dB push there. And then, again, to kind of poke it through the mix, 2 dB. And then on this particular one, on the wire, let's listen to that. I've got that kind of 11. So the two of them together. So the mic side's a little fuller. The wire side's got kind of the shimmer. So that's what I got going on there. So I have those guitars down over here. If you look at my mixer, I've got the guitars panned out. I don't do hard pans. I mean, there's really not a lot going on in this mix, so really no reason to get them too out of the way. Just panned out, of course, the vocals straight up. So let's talk about the vocal. On the vocal, I generally always mix the vocal listening to everything in the mix.
Falling awake when I'm talking in my sleep.
Okay, so there's an S right there. You can hear that, and let's look at that. Let's take a look at that S. Okay, so we'll get to that in one quick second. So looking at the chain here, I've got my Neve and just a little saturation, just a little push. There is something about a Shure mic and a Neve preamp. Boy, it's just magic. Again, this plugin's great. It's real close to the real deal. Yeah, again, I could probably tell the difference. This plugin has a little bit more of a digital kind of sound than the real Neve. I like it. I really like the character. Just flat on this vocal, and the high pass is at 80. Again, on a voice, I want to hear some of that warmth, some of that low end. So this next plugin is a Waves sibilance plugin, and this guy works really interesting. I have a problem with sibilance in my voice and hearing. So what it does is, and this is kind of cool, if you look at the way, let's widen this out here. If you look at the way a waveform looks, let's make this real big. So an S looks different. You can see here, this is the S, sleep.
Sleep.
So you can see that the S looks different. The actual waveform
Sleep.
looks different than the rest of the waveform. It's kind of jagged. So what this guy does is it detects those different waves
Sleep.
and turns them down.
I was lost.
So here all the S's up here are just being turned down. It recognizes that. Again, I've got a problem with
My
S's.
notebook and the pages that I fill.
So wherever I sing an S, this sibilance guy will just
Coffee stains and the secrets that I
turn it down. It recognizes it and pulls it out. It's real
There
slick.
was a time
There's no perfect de-esser, but
long ago.
this one's pretty nice. So anyways, next up on the chain, again, a CQ. Love this guy. A little bit of 11, a little bit of that air on top of the vocal, maybe 3 dB at 3.5, and then I got another CQ here so I can push that 5.6. And that's that guy right there. If we listen to the vocal,
Sleep.
if I bypass that,
I was lost. You came for me.
so I'll put it back in.
My notebook and the pages that I
That 5.6, boy, that just brings out the vocal. It's really, really cool. Big fan of the CQ Sound Toys. It's just a great plugin. The next thing is on vocals is CLA3A. My friend Johan got one of these and was talking about it one day, and I snatched one up the next day. And boy, I love the sound of this thing. It is warmer than the LA2A.
found an old forgotten trail I follow.
And again, I'm not really smashing the vocal much, but
Resting all alone under the tree.
just a little. There's not a lot going on in this mix. So.
Where will I go beyond tomorrow?
The CLA3A, I love this thing. This is just easy to use, nice and warm. Just a great compressor for a lead vocal, for my vocal. Really like it. Big fan. So then again, I've got just a touch of reverb, stock Reaper reverb. This is just mono, and it just sits where the vocal is, right in the center. That's just something that I've kind of grown fond of. So to get this mix to sound, you know, a little wider, what I did was I have this I routed everything into this plate verb bus, and I've got this Sound Toys little plate, and this guy here, I'll turn him up so you can hear him. So I've got the guitar and I don't have the vocal routed to this, just the guitar, just to give it a little wider, and I've got it way down. And how I get that wider is I use wider. This guy here is great. There's lots of stereo widening plugins out there. This is free by Polyverse Infected Mushroom. They make some outstanding plugins that are kind of quite expensive, but this one is free. And this does the phase correction for you, so you don't have to worry about that. You can, you know, go as wide as you want, as narrow. You can go ultra wide. So I just kind of use it here on this track. It's so subtle, you probably can't hear it, but it just widens out the mix a little bit, and that's basically all it does. So
Found
here.
an old forgotten trail I follow. Resting all alone under.
So the wider you go, the more saturation you get. So you do have to be careful with this if you're using it on drums or piano or something. You don't want to add a bunch of distortion. So again, I just have it on this like plate, and this plate kind of emulates the plate from Abbey Road. I'm pretty sure that's what they used. I could be wrong on that, but I think they used the Abbey Road plate when they built this sucker. Really nice plate if you like that plate reverb sound. I highly recommend the Sound Toys. That's it for the mix. There was really kind of a simple mix. What I did on the master bus, I've got just the high pass just on the master bus, quite a severe low pass going here. You know, it's just me and my guitar. I don't really need a lot of that crackle, shimmer nonsense up top. I just kind of want the vocal and the guitar to poke through. This plugin that I found that I really like, this Lursen mastering console. The way this guy, if you really want to master something quick, of course I've got a mastering chain with, you know, Fab Filter and all sorts of stuff on, you know, a Pultec. And that's a little more involved and takes a little more time. But if you just want to master something quick, this guy's great. It's got all of these presets. I think I'm using American Tight Warmer. It gives you your chain here, tube equalizer, solid state, de-esser, so you can see what this is doing. Just a little de-essing going on, and not necessarily take out the essing, but any sort of like high end. But here you can hear what this sounds like. I'll punch it out and back in, and of course it gives you that brick wall, gets your left straightened out to where you need to be. It also has the digital streaming button, which keeps it, you know, -1 from peaks. This guy is great. This is just a quick, if you just want to master something really great, this Lursen mastering console. Really like that. So I took that mix and mixed it down, and then let's go to the video. Okay, so again, I'm still in Reaper here because I use Reaper for video as well, my audio. So let's throw the video on here. I'll show you how I cut the video. So here's the audio. Here's the mix up here. I can solo this. So
I found the page.
So this is the mix that I just played you. This is the master mix on channel 1. And then I've got my video. So I took the camera up there and took some shots around where I was. So if you look at this opening shot of the trees, it was a really beautiful day. Now, I could do all kinds of crossfades or whatever I want. So what I kind of decided and what looked best to me was to just fade to black and then come out of black. So it fade to black, come out of black, and there I am.
I found the page with the corner folded down.
Now, how do you sync up the audio? Well, the camera has a microphone on it, so let's take a look at that. So I'm gonna click this. So there's the camera audio. And so what you do is you can see the waveform looks the same because it's just me singing and playing. So it's pretty much the same waveform. So you line these up. Now this is not an exact science depending on where the camera is. As you can see, the top mix looks a little ahead because obviously light travels faster than sound. I said that right. Okay. Don't want to confuse myself. So sometimes, you know, depending how far away the camera, and the camera was back a little ways here, so that is why these aren't exactly lined up, and sometimes you can fall into a trap if you line them up exactly if you use the waveform, because it really depends on where the camera is. So if we listen to this,
Never say out loud.
Now you can hear them both, the chorus.
Give me time.
So that's the camera microphone.
To grow.
And the
love
mix.
These things, but I love you more.
So that's that chorus sound. So if I take the audio out now, ignore, now it's gone. And so now we're just hearing my mix.
Give me time.
It's pretty closely synced.
To grow.
It's kind of an art form. Some guys are really good at that. Yeah, I
but
don't
I
know.
love you
I can
more.
obsess about it, but I try to just get it as close as I can and move on.
Across
So what I did was just to kind of fit the emotion of the song, when it comes up here to the middle 8,
down an old forgotten
so here we are in the
trail
middle 8,
I follow,
and then I fade to black,
resting all alone under the trees.
and go to the shot of the trees.
Where will I go beyond tomorrow?
So this kind of fits the emotion of the song.
Rescue me, set me free.
And again, you can see fade to black and then come out of black.
Found the page with the corner fold.
So, middle 8 is kind of different than the rest of the song. You know, you have a verse and a chorus. And so with the video, I wasn't obviously doing, a huge production here. It was just me and my guitar and a camera and my laptop. So, but I did want to kind of, snazz it up a little bit. And so I put that in. But it's real nice. It kind of matches. Again, I could crossfade here or do, smash cuts or whatever. But the fade to black just seemed to fit that when I was working on this video, it just seemed to fit the vibe of the song. So here at the very end, I fade to black and go to the shot of Thumb Butte. Let's look at that.
But I love you more.
So there's the last note, and then there's the shot of Thumb Butte. It's a really beautiful day, just gorgeous. And then fade to black. One of the things of like working in video production, I like the video to hang on after the audio ends and then have, like a second or two of your final shot and then the fade to black. And you can see that again here. Let's go right up to it. So there's the last shot. You can still hear the guitar ringing, and now the guitar's pretty much done, and then fade to black. And then a second or so of just black. And that's just kind of how I like to edit video. So that's the audio and the video both done in Reaper. That's how I did it. So I think I'll play the whole video here at the end, but just wanted to say thanks again for all of the nice comments and kind words regarding the song. And I'm already thinking about the next one. So I'll see you real soon. Thanks.
I found the page with the corner folded down, whispering words I could never say out loud. Give me time to grow. I love these things, but I love you more. Across the strings on my first guitar I tried a melody and I just can't get it right. It takes time, I know. I love these things, but I love you more. Falling awake when I'm talking in my sleep, I was lost, you came for me. My notebook and the pages that I filled, coffee stains and the secrets that I spilled. There was a time long ago, I love these things, but I love you more. Falling awake when I'm talking in my sleep, I was lost, you came for me. Your loving light of wonder over me, Down an old forgotten trail I follow, resting all alone under the trees. Where will I go beyond tomorrow? Rescue me, set me free. I found the page with the corner folded down. I mouthed the words I could never read aloud. You gave me time to grow. I love these things, but I love you more. You gave me time to grow. I love these things, but I love you more. I love these things, but I love you more.